didn't choose to go to the welcoming schools, there are other issues that they were concerned about. What did you learn from that research, and what can we do to help parents going forward as they make these decisions in the future, whether their school's closing or not? Parents are going to have to decide and choose schools based on what's in their best interest. What supports can CPS and the community be offering those folks going forward?
Yeah, I think that's a really important question. You know, I talk to people all over the country, and oftentimes people express this view, oh, we should just close the poorly performing schools, and then children can go to better performing schools. And I think what we've seen over and over again is it's really hard. I mean, it's really difficult. There are a lot of barriers that families face, and it's hard for the school district to actually find schools and know that the students are going to be successful there. You know, if we look in Chicago, the district really took pains. I mean, they really thought, they looked at what's happened in the past. They really tried to get students into better performing schools, and most students were, given a designated welcoming school that was much higher performing than their closed school. Yet, a lot of students didn't go to those schools. A lot of students ended up in schools that were just marginally better performing.
And that was because of some of the pressures.
And that's because there's so many barriers, right? We talk about having a school system of choice. Well, choice requires being able to get to different schools. It requires having money for bus fare, being sure that you have a safe route for your child to go to different schools, being sure that you will be able to pick your child up, being sure that the school is going to have the programs that are important to you. If you have a student with disabilities, making sure that those programs are going to be there in the school that also meets all your other needs in terms of logistics, in terms of having the quality academics. And for parents, academics means a lot more than just having strong test scores. And I think we all know that, and as parents and family members, we care about a lot more than
give me some examples of what's important other than just the basic test scores.
Well, of course, safety in the school, but also the degree to which parents feel like their children are going to get individual attention, very important for parents. And so for a lot of parents, they felt like their children were going to be moving from small schools into larger schools where they were going to get less attention, they were going to be less likely to know people there. And actually, there's a lot of research that says, personal attention is really important for learning. And children actually learn more when they get more individual attention. So it makes sense that parents want that. They want a place where their children are going to feel like they know other adults and also that they know other children. We have to recognize the fact that it's really, really hard to have strong schools in neighborhoods that are serving, a lot of families living in really difficult circumstances. We need a lot more support for families and for school staff. And so until we really recognize that, we're going to continually have this problem of not having a lot of schools that are in neighborhoods where parents can actually send their children that are actually very strong schools.
Jesse, I'd like to come back to you. What have you learned from this experience, especially picking up on some of the special needs of certain communities and certain groups of parents? What have you learned that you're going to apply?
There is no mass conspiracy to do anything harmful to any community. Obviously, the mission is to educate all our kids, and so that they all become, believe it or not, that is the mission of CPS. And so there is no, and respectfully, I wasn't there in 2003, so I wasn't doing any of this. And so there is no pattern and systemic. This is a totally, by and large, a totally different group of people. Not implementing the same programs, because there's now a 5-year moratorium on school closings. There's an office of community engagement that family and community engagement that is actively working with organizations all the time. There's folks from all those organizations that I sit on Barbara's Latino Advisory Council. They're around the table with her.
So some of these same kind of community organizations that he's talking about are actively working with the CPS?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
Closed schools. So the person who directs that department has been the African-American face that's gone to schools and said, this is why your school is going to close. So he has not demonstrated a real understanding of family or community engagement. So I'm not saying there's a conspiracy. I'm not saying there are two people in the room. What I'm saying is the wrong people are making the decisions. So no, you were not at the board in 2003. But the same punitive approach to school improvement, when schools began to go on probation in 1995, which is set because most times when schools go on probation, they stay on probation. So when schools go on probation, it is basically preparation for them to
Okay.
take these actions.
Okay,
That's the issue.
we got to move this conversation forward because we're mired in 2003 and 1995, and we've this is a new day. I think we need to look at this as sort of a time to clean the slate and start over. And I want to bring Asif in. I want to bring please respect. We will get a chance to bring you in just a few minutes. I want to bring Asif back in here. Having been through the experience of being in school that was closed, talk about, again, not about the history, but about what you learned from that experience, what your colleagues learned that could be helpful as we think about, and as you have a representative from the Board of Education right here. What does he need to hear about what the needs would be going forward?
So I can sum that up real easy. I learned that the system was designed to do exactly what it was set up to do, and it's doing exactly that, and fail black and brown children. It's quite
okay.
simple.
So what do we do to start to take responsibility for not failing black